Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Olumide Macaulay. On the program today, the Yobe State government educates residents of liberated communities on the dangers of buried explosives as army intensifies clearing of Boko Haram hideouts. The Cross River State government attends to the health needs of displaced Bakassi people as camp occupants call for the federal government's intervention. And the Nigeria Railway Corporation to introduce freight service in and out of Anambra State to cater for demands in the southeast. Welcome again to News Across Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. And we begin with a story that affects all the states in the Nigerian Federation. Nigerians may have to prepare as the federal government hopes to find a lasting solution to the lingering fuel scarcity. Feelers from the federal government are that it's considering the possibility of deregulating the downstream sector. Officials in the petroleum industry say the government wants to avoid the recurrence of a break or shortage of supply and is open to multiple options which may affect cost in the long run. Therefore, barring any last-minute change in plans, the federal government may, in a few days, introduce policy changes that will usher in the full deregulation of the downstream sector of the Nigeria petroleum industry. And now to airspace management. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has banned the launching of remotely piloted aircraft or drones in the Nigerian airspace without its permit and that of the Office of the National Security Advisor. In a statement issued by the agency's spokesman, the NCAA says the move is part of the safety guidelines issued by the regulatory agency to drone operators following the proliferation of the technology in the country. According to the agency, the International Civil Aviation Organization is yet to publish the standards and recommended practices as far as certification and operation of civil use of drones is concerned. In the meantime, the NCAA has put in place regulations advisory circular to guide the certification and operations of civil drones in Nigerian airspace. As the Nigerian army continues its clearing of terrorists from the northeastern part of the country, the Yobe State government has started an awareness campaign to educate the locals, especially the farmers, on the dangers posed by explosive devices left behind by fleeing Boko Haram sect members. The State Commissioner for Home Affairs, Information and Culture said the exercise was necessary following an incident last week where a suspected landmine allegedly planted killed 7 returning internally displaced people in Goniri town in Gujba, local government area of the state. He said the returnees were clearing farmland in preparation for the cropping season when the explosive devices that were buried in the farm went off. The government is taking the awareness to inhabitants of Gujba, Gulani, Damaturu, Gaidam and Yunusari local government areas worst hit by the insurgency.
As they have returned and having that experience from Goneri, we have to tell the people that were badly affected by this Boko Haram occupation during that time. That is before the liberation of the areas. To be careful, to be cautious while going to their farmlands, because they have buried a lot of explosive devices in the farms. So we are advising the people when they go to the clearing of their farmlands, any suspicious area within their farms, they should not go close to that places. They should report to the military men, the police, which they have sophisticated instruments that could detect the landmines in their farms. Even in their homes, where this Boko Haram have stayed, they should not just go to the house without informing the security men. the security men are supposed to give them the clearance first, so that to avoid the landmines buried by this Boko Haram.
Staying with security issues, but now to the southwest, where these comments you're about to see were made, but it involves the entire federation as well. Human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, has criticized the Nigerian army over its call to Nigerians to maintain law and order. According to him, it's unconstitutional for the Nigerian army to make such a call under a democratic dispensation, as only the Nigeria police is saddled with such a responsibility. Mr. Falana was a guest on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily.
The military as an institution has no business whatsoever in the maintenance of internal security in our country.
But we've seen lately...
No. Please, it is very illegal and unconstitutional for the chief of army staff or the chief of defense staff to be threatening civilians in our country. We are not under a military dictatorship, by the way. It is the business of the police to maintain law and order in our country. It is only when the role of the military, armed forces under the Constitution, Section 217, right, is to protect the territorial integrity of the country. You defend the country against external aggression. But you don't ask a soldier to go and monitor a polling booth or to go and arrest a criminal suspect. The Nigerian army that killed and buried secretly the dead bodies of 347 people in December last year can have the temerity, right, to be telling us and teaching us how to protect life and property in Enugu State. Furthermore, in the particular instance, in the case of the attack on Ukpabinimbo community in Enugu State, again we have all forgotten the fact that the community elected the governor of that state, and this is already in the public domain. The governor summoned a meeting of the Security Council in that state and gave specific instructions that that community be protected. So you had information on the impending attack. The commissioner of police addressed a press conference and dismissed the whole thing as a rumor and asked everybody to go about his or her normal duty. Again, the attack took place, people were killed, properties were destroyed. What has the government done? You have merely transferred the commissioner of police to another state.
You're watching news across Nigeria. When we come back, you'll hear all about the University of Ilorin partnering with an American firm to produce and install solar-powered paraphernalia for the school. Please stay with us.